Hey everyone, welcome back to another iiRcade Gamedaze Live. I'm your host, Michael, producer here at iiRcade, and it's going to be a pretty chill Friday, I would say, too. So New Zealand Story is out right now, too, if you haven't checked the store yet. We did launch New Zealand Story this afternoon. That's another one of those titles coming right at you. Titles, it's also extremely hard to say. So happy Friday, everybody. How's it going? Everybody ready for a spooky weekend? Do you like my spooky theme here? I got it going on with my cats and pumpkins. All right. Let's get into this. So I'll jump right into the games actually too. So I've got, let's see, in case you didn't know, there's a new attract mode. Spooky attract mode is out. Let me know if you don't got it for some reason. It should be out to everybody by this point. So in case you haven't started up your machine, you should see this downloading whenever you jump on. So there you go. And then let's see here. So New Zealand Story, right? So this one's kind of a weird game, kind of a weird title. New Zealand Story, right? So like, what is this game possibly about? The answer is New Zealand. It's kind of, you play as a Kiwi. Let's see if I can pull this up on screen for you. There we go. Okay, and I'll swap. Sweet, perfect. So New Zealand Story is, it's a weird little platforming game basically, right? So you play as this. It's a little chicken. It's a little chick, but really I think it's a Kiwi for New Zealand. So in my opinion, that's what it's going to be. But it's kind of really strange here. Let me full screen this for you. If you hear that, turn up a little bit. So you're going to start out as this little Kiwi. There you go. Little chicks, little Kiwis. I don't know. I'm going to call them Kiwis. I'm calling this Kiwis no matter what. Getting chased by a walrus, of all things, I have no idea what's going on, but I love it so much. So the game is a little bit random. You've got a little bow, so you can see I'm shooting my bow with A there. And I can jump around with B. So this game, it starts off pretty, oh my gosh, I'm already dying. Great. It starts off pretty simplistic, but the level design later on, it's pretty crazy. Here we go. So you can see the beautiful animal artwork behind me as well too, because why not? This game is just so random, and if you don't know me by now, I love random games. So this is like one of my favorite titles right now, just because. There's really no reason. The gameplay is fantastic. I mean, that's a good reason too. However, the randomness of this game is really what gets me. Of course, there's a little turtle. Oh no. Pretty sure I actually have to go this way. Well, maybe not. I've gotten lost already. Yeah, pigs coming out of doorways, little devil guys. This game is ridiculous. See, it's on point for Halloween. It's a spooky themed game. Lo and behold, every game is spooky. But yeah, so this is New Zealand Story. Highly suggest checking it out. It's only $10 now in the store. There we go. Got my little air balloon. That's what I needed. This turtle is just rushing me right now. I'm trying to have a good time here in New Zealand Story. Of course, spiky roof too. You've always got to have a spiky roof. Spooky and cute. That's right, Mark. Perfect. That's the perfect way to describe this game. This Kiwi does have some dope kicks. But yeah, so that's New Zealand Story. I would say those little pumpkins at the bottom even there too. Just saying. But yeah, so in case you've never checked out New Zealand Story, it's kind of a hidden gem. So a lot of people just didn't know about this game, but it is actually a really good platformer. And later on, the difficulty it scales immensely in this game, right? And there's a lot of cool mechanics. Like you saw me riding that little hot air balloon because why not? And you just got this little bow and arrow and you're just shooting things. It's kind of like jump and shoot, man, So I'm a big fan, super big fan of New Zealand Story. But that's it right there. So I'll let my track mode run in a second here. So who's actually played New Zealand Story? That's always the great question, right? Because some of these games I've just never heard of really. So I always love to see when people are actually really know about these games sometimes. These little hidden gems. Because, everybody knows Rastan, Space Invaders, all that jazz, right? So let's get into, I'm kind of an impromptu show today. I've had a really busy week, so I'm kind of just winging it right now. I think I saw a question somewhere in the chats. Let me see. So there shouldn't be static in this game whatsoever. In case you just heard it running on my machine, it was fine right there, right? So if you're hearing static, let me know. Send an email to contact@iiRcade. Say your specific problem, and it always helps to have a video if you're talking an audio issue, right? There is a known issue currently with the pause button for the Taito games, especially. Some other titles too, but Taito seems to be affected a lot by it. So pausing the game can cause some sort of audio corruption a little bit. So highly suggest stop pausing. Rastan, I know it definitely happens. Elevator action, I know it happens as well too. So we're working on fixing that like immediately. So that's like priority number one right now for fixes. But otherwise, don't pause the game. Play an arcade game like an arcade game is intended to be played. But no, I mean, we have that feature. We're going to fix it. Don't worry about that. But if you are hearing anything other than, after you pause and stuff, let us know. We can definitely look into that because I want these games playing just exactly as how they are on my machines, right? Let's see. Excited to see the title library going. Thank you, SJ. Yeah, title library is definitely growing. It's been growing weekly for the past couple weeks now. So I think we're still going to keep going. Rising Hell tonight. And, of course, White Knight. This is Halloween. Yes, that is like the perfect combination of games right now, Travis, I would say, for Halloween nights. Well, Halloween weekend nights. So let me see. Lit power button. Yeah, shout out. Great. You're welcome, 6. Yeah, of course we're going to fix your problems. We're not giving you broken parts. We're going to replace them. In case that ever happens, things happen during shipping and stuff too. It's never a perfect world, unfortunately. So most people have no problems, but sometimes, things break. So, and especially little things like a little tiny light on a power button can fix that real quick. So thank you for your patience always. Let's see here. Question about updates. Here we go, Mike. Let's go. This is not a hate post. It's fine. Why is it so hard to update games? Uninstall and reinstall. Yeah, so you shouldn't have to uninstall and reinstall. You should just see the update prompt. And the moment the update prompts is literally when you're going to go to launch the game. So you don't have to go looking in the store or anything that says like game updates available. There's no need to do that because if a game update's available, you should get prompted for it right away for your game if it's not up to date, right? So that's how that's working. It should be working. If it's not working that way, let me know. But yeah, that's the intended. You shouldn't need to uninstall and reinstall a game ever, pretty much, not to update it. It should update automatically. The prompt should prompt you automatically whenever an update's available. So yeah, so there's never any need to like look through the store and stuff for game updates too. It's always just if there's an update available for it, it'll pop to you the moment that you press A to launch the game, right? It'll say, hey, an update's available. Do you want to do this? Yes or no? And that's it. Or it'll force you to sometimes. It depends on the game. It's rare that I force updates, but there's some rare occasions that we have that built in. So sometimes you do have to update to actually play the game. Other times, usually, you can technically play without updating, but you may as well always update. Let's see here. Question. Sell my house. Oh, Christopher, let's go. Question. Should I sell my house in Arizona and buy one in Myrtle Beach? I'm no real estate agent, but I don't know. It's pretty sketchy. You're going from the desert. You're going to go from the desert to the ocean. So just keep that in mind. You've got two different types of sand there, right? One is a wet, moist sand, and another is a very dry sand. So get a little bit of different creature life there too, right? Instead of scorpions and snakes, you get more of like, I don't know, maybe sea turtles sometimes, and like lizards. You get a lot of lizards and bugs. So, all right. What other questions we got right now? Is everybody enjoying New Zealand Story? Who's actually picked up New Zealand Story? Nobody's talking about New Zealand Story, and it's like my favorite game right now. All right, let's see. It's not working that way for you. Okay, cool. No, we can look into it more. I'll get this working for sure. It should be working. It's working on our end. I can tell you that because I tested it the other day. So, but if it's not working for you, yeah, we can definitely go and scope it out a lot more. It's sort of still, it's not a new feature, but it's still being worked on for sure. Always trying to improve things. Let's see. Dungeons and Dragons. I can't get D&D right now. D&D would be massive, for sure. Let's see. What other questions did I miss in the chat? Anything? You guys are quiet today. As far as questions go, I should say. I see the chat's popping, but. Yeah, update for me automatically. That's right. That's normal. Question. Update on MFL caps? Not really. In the process of being manufactured. That's where MFL cabs are. This is why we were like, hey, if you want to, you can switch if you really want to, because it's going to take a little bit of time. Manufacturing, shipping and stuff, it's taking a little while. We'll see. We're trying to get them, by the end of the year. As quickly as possible, though, definitely. iiRcade glass as well, too. Trying to get it as quickly as possible. That's just being shipped. It's already been manufactured. It's just waiting on shipping right now. That's all it is. So hopefully that'll get here soon, but no idea. No UK release plans. Yes and no. So I can't make any promises right now, but of course we're always looking to get our machines across the other side of the pond, right? We're shipping them from the West Coast, but we'd love to get more out in the UK and stuff, especially too. Licensing is a little tricky. Sometimes we have games that are worldwide licenses. Some titles are not worldwide licenses. Some are just for the US, Canada, and Korea specifically. It all depends. It's kind of rare that most stuff isn't worldwide for us, but depends on the company. It all depends on the company. All depends on the game. But yes, shipping to the UK is just a little bit too expensive right now for us. We understand like you would potentially pay to foot the cost too if you really, really wanted it. I get it. It's just kind of a nightmare right now, honestly, for shipping. But we're working on it. Plus, we have to get all those approvals, which take some time, right? FCC certifications and things like that for the UK. It's a different thing entirely. So not that we're working on it, but it takes time. So only one game today. I mean, it's New Zealand story. And you just got a huge update like 2 weeks ago, and Rising Hell, which was a massive undertaking too. If you haven't yet, there's plenty of games that it seems like a lot of you have missed on the store because people seem to think that I had hidden things in the attract mode that weren't released yet, but they're clearly on the store. So yes, all the games in today's attract mode are on the store. So in case you haven't checked it out, there's a ton of things on the store that you probably have not seen. So take a look. Just one game today, it's okay. There's still another 267 other titles on the store for you available currently. So yeah, keep that count in my head all the time. When is Jean coming back? That's a great question, Bob Brad. I would love to say he's here right now, but he's not. But soon. He'll be back soon. Don't you worry. He's having a good time over there in Korea at the moment. Let me see here. Just New Zealand story. P-dubs, you're killing me. This is a great game. And we just saw that it's a spooky game. There's demons in this game, so I'm counting it. It's a spooky game. And it's got little orange pumpkin things. They're kind of, I think they're tomatoes, actually. I don't really know. Anyway, New Zealand story is a great game. Witch Loves Bullets sequels at stages. Prince Malcolm, that's an interesting idea. Not currently. There's no DLC plan that I know of. However, we'll see. We'll see what we can do. If you guys are liking Witch Loves Bullets a lot, then we can definitely see if we can talk to the developer a little bit and see if we can get something going. That is a great little shooter, by the way, too. In case you haven't, it was just on behind me, too. Witch Loves Bullets is a fantastic shooter. For the price of a cup of coffee at Starbucks, it's probably less than a pumpkin spice latte. So, all right, where are we at in this chat? Let's see. What other questions do we got before I move on? The S'mores and Campfire. There's no Campfire. We did just watch a movie, though. So I would say Drew technically picked the movie. We all sort of decided on it together, but it's kind of Drew's fault that we watched that one. It was an interesting movie we just watched. It was not Splatterhouse. Let me see here. Your pixel perfect mode. Of course, Brad. I appreciate it. It takes a lot of work, so thank you for that. It does take a lot of work to implement features like that. So we kind of spit those ones out pretty quick. All right. What about games might have missed? I enjoy this. We can go on to games you might have missed today. I would love to move on to that right now, Travis. Thank you for that segue. I appreciate it. So first of the games you might have missed, right? So they're only on track mode right now too. So I'm putting the games you might have missed in the track mode as well too, just for further evidence of what they are and showing these things that you might have seen or not seen. So let me move over to this monitor actually a little bit here. Technical difficulties. It's a little hard sometimes for me. So the first game is going to be, bam, there we go. Did I pick my right game? I did. There we go. Battle Shopper. Does that sound okay for you guys? It's hard to tell for me sometimes if it's too loud for these. Every arcade game is a little different. But yeah, so first games you might have missed is Battle Shopper, which is, there we go. That was right. So this is one of those iRem titles, and iRem only makes bangers, okay? Every single iRem game that I've ever played is one of my favorite arcade games I've found, so which is great. And yes, that includes 10-Yard Fight. I love 10-Yard Fight, but I played it on Nintendo instead of arcades. Fairness. But Battle Shopper, right here. So this is kind of a cool little, so it's a side shooter, but you also have these different mechanics where you shoot up, and you also shoot down, and you can also claw and pick things up from the ground. So you're kind of shooting in 4 different directions, left, right, up, and down. Different things will drop from the ceiling sometimes too if you break them out of the blocks. So it's got some really, really interesting mechanics for a shooter. Classic kind of arcade style soundtrack and everything as well. The controls, of course, feel super smooth. This game runs amazing. But yeah, so in case you've never checked out Battle Chopper, available on the store. Again, iRem just makes really, really good games. iRem is just like, they knocked it out of the park. There you go. Just knock out the crystal right there from the ceiling and catch it. So that's how you get those extra points and stuff. Yes, this game is freaking hard. Agreed. Oh, does it sound a little loud? Okay, I can turn it down. That's my bad. Again, it's hard to adjust these arcade games sometimes when I'm playing the video and I can't hear it myself. So, all right. But yeah, so Battle Chopper, check it out. First game you might have missed. Take that one away for you. Second game is actually one of my favorite sort of just, again, ridiculous titles because I really love these just dumb, fun games. It's like just, it's my bread and butter. So yeah, so this is Buddha-san. So I know it's Japanese whenever you see it on the attract mode. Let me see if I can jump this along a little bit too. It might be playing a little slow. My internet might be a little laggy today. So Buddha-san is just kind of a crazy Bomberman-esque kind of game. You're just throwing these bombs at pigs. You are a pig. It is also a 2-player game. You can play it together with somebody else if you want. So grab a buddy, grab a family member, have some fun with this one. Again, this is just one of those games just super easy to pick up. It's dumb fun. You'll figure out the mechanics right away. I mean, all it is throwing the bombs for the most part of people. And those numbers on them are the timers. They tick down until they blow up unless you hit something immediately. There's a couple different mechanics that spike up. So there you go. It's displaying the different characters and stuff too, of course. But yes, this is Buddha-san is what you're looking for in the store. It's not the Japanese title, which is just called Buddha-san. So that's the second games you might have missed today. And then, of course, the third is a sort of spookier title. There we go. Yeah, so this is going to be Psychic 5. So it'll come on behind me as well, too. But Psychic 5 is basically you play as a couple different characters, but the whole point of the game is that you possess different characters in order to gain different powers and abilities, right? So you'll see during this video. I'm sorry, that's Avenging Spirits. I don't know why. I'm switching my games up right now. Sorry, Psychic 5 is not the same as Avenging Spirits. So Psychic 5, there you go, jumping around on the platforms. So this is, again, you got a bunch of witches and things going around on brooms, everything else. It's kind of weird because the characters are so small, but you jump so high, so that got a little bit different to me. But yeah, so in case you've never checked it out before, highly suggest Psychic 5. If you're looking for like a platformer, an old school arcade platformer kind of game, a little bit different mechanics. As you can see too, you kind of star out to shoot instead of just shooting straight on. You're shooting at diagonals, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, cute little platformer, great for kids. Or great for yourself too. Again, this is another game too that's like it ramps up in difficulty pretty fast. So the later levels are intense. The fire stages and stuff are, it's good times. All right. So let me move that. Cool. So that's the games you might have missed, right? So Battle Chopper, as you can see in the attract mode too, right behind me, there's Psychic 5 is right there. Battle Chopper, Psychic 5, and Buddha-san is the name of the Bomber Pig game. So, and Buddha-san again is like, I love that game. I love that game so much. Let me see what we got here in the chat too. The track note's pretty awesome. Really like the latest firmware update. Thank you, Thrift Arcade Jason. I tune in sometimes too. I do watch your channel as well too. I watch pretty much all your guys' channels, even though you don't know that I'm creeping or not. So just know that I'm there. I'm watching. No, but it's good. Mostly just because I enjoy the content. So have I watched Squid Game yet? I have watched Squid Game yet. I have watched Squid Game, yes. You see, yes, contacted iiRcade with device ID, and I can manually push you the attract mode. This is true. So currently, attract mode works on a push. We're working on changing up this feature a little bit. Of course, we talked about this as sort of like the first sort of run of it and feeling out how it goes and what to do with it. So system level attract mode is still being worked on. It's not just dead in the water right now. But yeah, if for some reason the push doesn't go to your machine and it's just not updating, try to power cycle one. Definitely try to power cycle once or twice if it doesn't kick in. And again, if that does not work and you're just not seeing the same videos as everybody else for the week, just let me know. and I can definitely push it directly to your device. I just need your device ID that you can send to contact@iiRcade. Just be like, contact@iiRcade. Attract mode hasn't updated. Here's my device ID. Perfect. That's all I need to see. And I can just be like, bloop, it's done. But yes, that's a feature that needs, it's getting tweaked a little bit as far as how it pushes out, because I've noticed that sometimes it just doesn't seem to want to go to some machines. Let me see here. All right, let's go back to Q&A. What other questions do we have today? Talk about game titles that have just recently released, game titles that are sort of coming up, game titles that have been announced, the machines, software updates, scan lines. I'm working on new scan line features too, by the way, so don't you hold on to your butts. Squid Game iiRcade, I could put something like that together. That wouldn't be too bad. Depending on the game, right? Maybe it's Hopping Glass, maybe it's not. You see here, did I miss anything in the chat? Track lines. I'm glad that we could give it to you. That's all we're here for. It's always good when your trip to the supermarket turns into an arcade. You see, it's my favorite Halloween candy. That's a great question. I don't know that I have one anymore. I kind of have a sweet tooth, but more for baked goods nowadays. I'm a big Reese's Cups kind of guy. I'm not gonna lie. Reese's and maybe Twix. Crunch bars are pretty high on my list too. So yeah, in case you want to send me a giant Crunch bar to my office, I'm not opposed to it. So see, looking forward to Rastan. The other Rastan games. You want the other Rastan games? All right. I know 3 especially is like amazing. The funny thing is that they're sort of connected, but they're really not connected games in the Rastan series with Taito. So, but yeah. Let's see. So I'll actually sort of use this as a little bit of a segue real quick. So I did have something else to show you guys today. Sort of a little bit out of left field. Might be expecting it. Who really knows sometimes, right? But let me play this in with a phone to video that I've definitely got somewhere here. All right. Perfect. All right. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Yeah, so Rastan 2 is now available, just like the video said. It's available on the store right now. I'm working on putting it into the recently added list real quick because I apparently missed that a little bit earlier today. However, Rastan 2 is available, and it's actually Nastar Rastan Saga 2 is actually the full title of this game, brought to you by Taito. So some people also know it as Nastar Warrior is a common name for it as well. As you saw in that video, that's sort of like the key logo anyway, is Nastar Warrior. But yes, it is Nastar Rastan Saga 2. And then episode 3 is actually called Warrior Blade Rastan Saga Episode 3. So that's a fun one whenever that one goes on the store. But yes, we'll get this added into the recent list in just a second here. Perfect. Great. We're almost updated, I promise. So if you did like the first Rastan, this is definitely a little bit of a different Rastan compared to the first. There we go. Now you should see it in the recently added games, the recently released section. So yeah, so Rastan 2 is, I mean, I can put it on behind me too, but Yes, Rastan 3 is fantastic, but Rastan 2 is an interesting title if you've never checked it out. It is 2 players well too. Rastan 1 is single player. Rastan 2 and Rastan 3 are both 2-player simultaneous games, so you can play with a buddy, with a friend, in case you're looking to do that. Yeah, 2 is great. I could see it in the chat right now. I know, everybody loves Rastan Saga. Rastan Saga Episode 2? Rastan, no. Oh my gosh, I can't even get the name right anymore. Nastar Rastan Saga 2. That's what the name is. But yes, in case you're interested, 2 is, it's one of those infamous titles, but I like that it does that too. So I'm a big fan of those like really infamous arcade titles that people are just like, what is this? I like it. So Rastan, the series in general, sort of barely came to light originally. So it kind of got canceled as like a Conan the Barbarian sort of spin-off game. It was supposed to be, I think, an official Conan game. It turned out it wasn't going to be after that. And so Rastan was one thing. The Rastan 2 kind of took it in a different direction. And Rastan 3 is a totally different game entirely too. So they're all very specific types of games. I mean, they're all beat-em-ups. They're all platform beat-em-up kind of things. But Rastan 3 is especially a beat-em-up. Rastan 1 is more of a platformer. And then Rastan 2 is kind of a platformer beat-em-up thing. So have at it. Have fun with it. If you're a collector of the series, especially, highly suggest getting it. Nastar is a terrible game. Why do you gotta hate Nastar? Nastar is fantastic. But yes, if you've never tried Rastan 2, it's up to you. Dealer's choice on this one. However, New Zealand Story is a banger. So New Zealand Story is an amazing title. But Rastan 2, now in the store, complete the collection. Why not? Why not? However, Rastan, Nastar Warrior, not Nastar Warrior, Rastan or Nastar Warrior Blade, Rastan Saga Episode 3. There we go. Coming to you soon. Still in the works right now. Still have one little minor thing to fix, and then we're good to go. So that'll be coming your way. I know people are waiting on the 3rd in the series, especially. Stars almost Rastan spelled backwards. Wow, no way. I think that did have something to do with it for some reason. Don't quote me on that, but I think it did. All right. So what other questions do we have? It's going to be kind of an easy, short day today. I got nothing else up my sleeve for you. I wanted to sort of just drop Rastan 2 on you at the same time. So my spooky campfire stories are mostly just due to New Zealand Story, honestly. And the fact that Nastar reminds me of, because it's so brutal, basically, too. It reminds me of, oh my gosh, I can't even think of the name of the game. Dark Souls, there we go. So resting by campfires and things like that. Plus, it's October. It's the last weekend in October. I went a little bit on theme a little bit here. See? Thank you, Rainwater. I'll download it, Mike. We're not all haters. Don't pity download a game if you don't like it. Just saying. If you like the games, buy them. So if you don't, that's okay. You have options. You do have options. You got all these other beautiful games running behind me that apparently a lot of you didn't even realize are on the store. They've been on the store since January, some of them. Especially games like Demon's World are amazing to pick up. Fight and Rage. Stay tuned on Fight and Rage. That's fair. I appreciate it, Mike. That's okay. Again, you don't have to pity purchase games of it. If you don't like a game, you don't have to buy it. I won't know. Though I will know if you do buy it and if you refund it. I can actually see all the data. I'm more of a, when we got the series, when we got Rastan 1, and then I think we got Rastan 2 originally, and I was like, if we're getting Rastan 1 and 3, we need to get Rastan 2 because I want the whole series. That was like my deal with Taito too. I was like, I want the whole thing. So that's kind of why we got Nastar. Because I'm a completionist and collector a little bit. Let me see. Space Invaders. Ooh, it's Moose. It's Moose. I feel like I've missed you a little bit. I feel like I haven't seen your name in my chat in a while. I don't know. Can we see more videos on the Space Invaders game that are coming out? I don't have any readily available right now. However, if you go to the iiRcade channel on YouTube and then just type in Space Invaders at the search bar at the top, you'll find it pretty easily. So there's a Space Invaders themed episode, I believe. There should be. But we'll post that up soon. Whenever the game is ready, especially, it will be up. Space Invaders is a tricky one a little bit for a couple different reasons. It's mostly just licensing stuff, though. Again, Taito likes to take their time a little bit. It's their games. Totally get it. They like their babies to look good. Still, it's true. Maybe. We'll see. A free Slurpee game for 7-Eleven. Man, I mean, we missed it this year, but maybe next year, right? Though I guess we could always do 11-7 because I know we got some UK viewers popping in here, right? So 11-7 is coming up in a week. So we'll see. Slurpee is a good game. Title Zookeeper. So yes, Zookeeper is not a title that we have currently announced that we have licensed with Taito. So, but stay tuned on, other Taito titles could potentially come later on down the line. We got to focus on the ones currently that we have before we can, delve into newer ones as well. But yeah, Zookeeper is an interesting game. Just a strange mechanic for a game. In case you didn't know, Zookeeper by Taito is like you trap animals in a box in a square in the center, and like they're trying to break out the entire time, and all they do is like bounce around, and you're trying to like reseal them back in and then put them all back in the pen. That's Zookeeper, and it gets incredibly hard, and it's just so hectic towards the end of that game. But that's Taito Zookeeper. I think Michael B wants that a lot too, if he's watching right now. Yeah, Zookeeper's a good game, and we'll work with Taito a little. We're still working with Taito. Taito titles, it's not a closed door or anything like that too. We just have the current titles, that we have already announced. Space Invaders included. Space Invaders, Rastan 3. What other Taito games do we still have? Legend of Kage, as well as trying to think. It's hard when there's a lot of games going through my head all the time. But yes, there's a couple of those too that I'm trying to remember. Phoenix, always asking for Phoenix. There's nothing wrong with Phoenix. Phoenix is a good game. Phoenix is kind of an underrated title too. Any Western genre games? I mean, Demon's World is a Western theme. You play as like a cowboy fighting demons. So it's sort of like Cowboys and Aliens, but instead it's cowboys and demons. That's, oh my gosh, that's Demon's World. Yeah. So in case you do want a Western style game, Demon's World. I can't really think of any others off the top of my head that are like very Western themed. There's like Beach Buggy 2 has like Western theme level. That's there. Cloak and Dagger would be an interesting one. Again, anything's possible. So I can't really answer that question I can't tell you what games we've licensed and haven't announced, things like that. I gotta take care of those first. I gotta take care of business before I can really tell you guys about it. Let's see. Aaron, new name. Welcome to the family if you're new. In case I haven't seen you before, I'm sorry. I don't think this will give away anything. When you got hired, what games did you really want to push for getting on iiRcade? So this is a fantastic question, actually. Thank you for asking it. Nobody ever asked a question like this. So we have a lot of the ones that I wanted. So light guns are big for me because like Time Crisis 2, I grew up loving Time Crisis 2 and House of the Dead. 3, I want to say now, but maybe it was House of the Dead 2 actually. Anyway, Time Crisis 2 especially was my thing. Not even the first one, but Time Crisis 2, because I've probably spent like at least $40 beating that game with like my best friend at the bowling alley way back in the day. So Time Crisis 2 is big, but I knew right away that like we don't have a light gun, right? So that was sort of off the table for now. But other titles, honestly, like I was just stoked to see like Dragon's Lair and a bunch of the other Sega titles and stuff. Like Alien Storm was big for me. Congo Bongo was nice. Yeah, and otherwise it was just like modern titles in my book, which we're still kind of working on getting a bunch of them too. So it was honestly modern titles kind of piqued my interest more for the company because it's a fun mix doing retro and modern, right? And the fact that this thing is so versatile on the back end too, that like getting a modern title on here that even looks like an old school classic is pretty freaking easy to do. So yeah, so I know we mentioned Cuphead a lot. Cuphead's sort of on my list too. Cuphead, Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight's a big one on my list too. But yeah, stay tuned. And again, those are games that, we're always after new games. Elevator Action was not one that I even knew. So P-Dubs is going to hate me on this one if he's watching at all. But Elevator Action, I had actually never heard of Elevator Action, honestly. So I knew plenty of other titles, but not Elevator Action. It's a great game. Don't get me wrong. I just had never played it myself. And there's a couple other titles for sure. I'm trying to get my hockey game right now, though, for Gordon especially. That's how on my list is hockey. Oh, there's Gordon. I didn't even see it in the chat. I just knew. I knew it was going to be there. Hockey. Yep. Boxing would be fun, too. Punch-Outs, Nintendo. But, there's other games. Semi-horror. Yeah, so horror games are a fun genre. So you guys probably don't know this, but I actually worked on a lot of horror games at Bethesda. So like working with Tango Gameworks. So Tango did Evil Within 2, and now they're working on Ghostwire, which is looking phenomenal. So games like that are, basically it's a better Resident Evil franchise, honestly, in my opinion, than Resident Evil is. So Resident Evil is clearly the more popular, but they have some really good franchises over there too, and I would argue that they're better games, and I would love to see those on our system at some point too. Also, games like maybe like Amnesia could be interesting. Again, it's kind of weird. So horror games are a little weird because one, they suck you in. So White Knight's there, which is a great starter for horror. If you haven't checked out White Knight, if you like noir style games especially, it's great. So, but horror games, going back to it, they're sort of longer typically. They take longer play sessions. And so I'm sort of steering away from longer play session games necessarily, just because it's an arcade console, right? So we got to kind of monitor how long people like sitting here or standing and playing the machine, right? So some people don't mind playing games for hours at a time at it, but some people are like 20 minutes and done, or like 10 minutes and done, right? So we got to kind of cater to all the different audiences and think about all those different aspects as well with the games that we choose. So more horror games are usually more in depth and they take a little bit longer. Usually you're not going to have like a 20-minute play session. You're going to have like an hour or two that you're going to be sitting there at least or standing there. So, but yes, I would still love more horror games on here. Absolutely. It's one of my favorite genres of games. Not movies, weirdly enough, but games. Yeah. Wild Guns is an interesting one. Let's see. Oh, beer. Awesome. Welcome to the family. Thanks for going to AB. So you're right in our neighborhood if you're going to AB. So stop by sometime. Maybe next Game of Brew Night, we'll see you. Glad you're liking it. Let us know. Leave some reviews. We always love the reviews, of course, too. But yeah, no, generally speaking, I'm just happy that you're stoked and having a good time. You see here. What other questions have I missed? Oh my goodness. I'm zooming in at the wrong time. Slap Shooter. Slap Shooter is a great game. Definitely agree. Ooh, golf, yes, golf. I believe Bash is working on golf right now. They're working on a golf and a bowling. Is what they've announced to you guys. So they'll be coming. They'll be coming too. Thanks for another Game of Brew Night in Chicago. So we were kind of going to have one in September, but probably not right now, honestly, with the holidays coming up. We're pretty slammed, right? So as any company is, especially with an electronic device, we're pretty slammed for the holidays right now. There's a lot going on. So probably not until next year, I would say, if we're going to do another one. And we'll probably do another one. Zhang likes to host. So I've got to at least wait for him to be back. So, maybe we'll do it in December. Who knows? But next Game of Brew Night, it'll happen. I would probably bank on next year just because we're slammed for the holidays, right? We got a lot going on between games and marketing and just devices and getting them to places they need to be and stuff. There's a lot going on during the holidays for any company. So, yes, thank you for knowing. I love my Goonies shirt. This is my favorite movie of all time, by the way. I did an entire film location thing in Oregon. You can go to Oregon and you can actually they have all the entire town is, clearly still there that they filmed the Goonies, and you can actually go there and they have all these different markers and stuff like that too. So you can go to the different locations where they filmed, which is kind of cool. So yes, I'm a big Goonies fan. And mostly it's Halloween, so I wanted a skull kind of shirt. So I figured it like a pirate-esque kind of shirt worked out. I don't have a lot of skulls in my clothing. I guess my goth phase is over nowadays. I've adulted up. So I saw the Gunbird skin photo in my chat with my marketing team, and I haven't actually seen the post yet. So that's interesting. No, so the Gunbird, I haven't read the post yet, so I don't know what it looks like right now. But that was a very special skin. We made that machine specifically for the president of Psycho. So, because they're good friends. So we like them a lot. Clearly, we've got Gunbird on the system, and Gunbird 2 is going to be coming, Dragon Blaze. So, and a ton of other Psycho games are already out on the system. They make amazing shooters especially, right? So every Psycho shooter is going to be a good time. I don't think they've made a bad game ever, honestly. So, and I've played through a lot of games on these machines, remember, a couple hundred now, almost thousands. But yeah, Psycho is fantastic. But that's what that picture was about. Yeah, again, if you get a black edition, don't make a Gunbird machine. That's one in the world right there. That's it. But don't do licensed things, but if you ever wanted, you can do a black edition. That's the point of the black edition model. Instead of putting on the Double Dragon decals, it's there for you to print your own decals as well. So a little bit of an added cost, of course, because you got to go to an outside source to get them printed for now. But like if you really want your own machine and your own style machine, you can do that. It has the versatility to do that. And technically, any of them do. If you want to take off decals and put new ones over it, I don't suggest it. I mean, a lot of you bought your machines because you like the skins, right? You like you like the Dragon's Lair, or the Retromania, or Beach Buggy, things like that. And of course, MFL. Just the skull tattoo. No skull tattoos. That Gunbird cab looks dope. I know. I thought so too. I actually wanted one for my office when I saw it today. Rising Hell. Not Raising Hell, but Rising Hell. Yes, would be a cool skin. Again, if you haven't checked out Rising Hell, by the way, I will keep plugging Rising Hell until I die, because that is my new favorite arcade-style game, right? It's modern, but it is very much meant for an arcade, and we have the arcade edition specifically, so we got that altered for us. Gunbird 2 coming out arcade. Yeah, so we've announced Gunbird 2. It's still in the works. Of course. And Gunbird 2 is it's not a much different game, but there's a lot of different mechanics in that game too, and there's a different character lineup, right? So let's see here. Campfire, this is an interesting one. Looks like he's holding up more online games. So server issues, dev porting. So it's mostly up to devs right now. It's up to devs porting, and they have to be hosting their own servers, right? It's an undertaking. It takes a big company to do that usually. We're fortunate with like Bomb Squad, where Eric hosts his own servers because he's a fantastic developer and I love him. So we sort of are, getting more developers like that. But currently it takes a developer who is running their own server for us to host an online game, right? Because we don't currently have our own servers, because servers cost a lot of money, like a lot of money. So keep that in mind for online gaming. But yeah, no, stay tuned on more online games. Don't you worry. Don't worry about it. So I promise you that there will be more online titles coming soon enough. You see here, Racing Hell sounds better. That's true. What makes Rising Hell Arcade Edition the Arcade Edition? Great. Yeah, so I can talk about this again, Six. So one, it has 2 different attract modes in it, actually. So if you let it run, it cycles through 2 different attract modes. So the attract modes are specific to our version. We had to, change up the aspect ratio and stuff. So they did all that for us, which is amazing. So they reconfigured the entire display of the game. On top of that, stripping features and adding in different button combinations that we needed. Plus global leaderboards, right? So 16 different global leaderboards that's specific to us as well. So one of them is for the campaign mode, and 5 of them are for different challenge modes. And then there's 3 different versions of each of those 5 challenge modes. So there's 3 different worlds to choose from in those 5 different challenge modes. So you got 16 total. So it's the global leaderboards mixed with the attract modes, mixed with just the other work that was put into that game is what makes it the arcade edition. Yep. Plus that game, again, if you've played that game, that game is meant to be played on an arcade. In this setting, it's not meant to be played on a controller or keyboard. It just feels so much nicer on an arcade machine. That could be personal preference, but honestly, I like it. Again, if you haven't checked it out yet, totally a great game, especially if you're looking for something seasonal a little bit, right? Pick up Rising Hell. Plus, it is only $12.99. It's crazy that game's not double that price right now because it's beautiful and it sounds spectacular. So, yes, Zero Gunner. Good question, Dylan. Still being worked on. That game's a little bit rougher sometimes in the system for different reasons, right? We have the hardware to do things. However, software-wise, it's challenging to adapt some of these games occasionally. So that's usually what the holdup is on some of those older games that aren't out yet. Sorry. You see here, Vampire Sleep. I'm missing a whole conversation in this chat right now. Yeah, I mean, no, I'm here to be honest with you. I'm not trying to hide something from you. We're trying to hide something from you. I don't even know what I'd hide from you, honestly, right now. You know a lot of things right now. So I unlock Mega Man in Gunbird 2. Is that a thing? Is that actually a thing? I don't think that's a thing. Downloaded tracks between. So, Ronsky, not right now with a track mode. So, is there any way we can download our tracks and then be able to select our own? Maybe down the road. Yeah, maybe down the road is correct. So, I don't know what it's necessarily going to be looking like at that time. We've kind of got bigger fish to fry right now as far as software goes. So, it's still going to take a little bit of time. For now, it's kind of just going to be the one push every single week. And, cycling it up too. And again, this is going to introduce you to games games you might have missed on the system, or just like really good looking games in general, honestly. But yes, and again, we might change up like the format of these a little bit. We'll see. This is only week really 2, honestly, for getting feedback with the track mode. So like I'm constantly taking notes and things like that on this. But yes, it would be nice to maybe store a couple different versions of it and then, have options, right? That'd be great. Who knows? Maybe we'll sell packs of track modes one day. Who knows? But then do I have to license those out? I don't know. I haven't looked into it yet. So, but yes, a track mode will be, a continually ongoing process currently, right? As well as like scanline features, right? So those are things that we're looking heavily into right now. However, it takes some time. Let me see. I can't speak on Sega licenses, unfortunately, right now. We're always looking to license more stuff from an amazing company like Sega, of course, though. Let's see. Does Rastan 2 go directly under Rastan 1 in the game list? Nope. It is under N for NASTAR. So surprisingly enough, I don't necessarily have control over how I name these games, right? So sometimes I sort of do. It depends. But the official naming of this game is brought to you by Taito. So that's why you also see them as caps locked. That is Taito says the title of the game is this, and it's caps locked, and that's what I'm using. That's what I have to use. So that's how that works out. So yes, this is NASTAR parenthesis Rastan Saga 2. Right. So that's in parentheses, right? And that is their specific naming. That's the actual name of the game, the official naming of the game. So that's how they copyright things and stuff too. So that's why that makes sense. So yeah, it's going to be under NASTAR and not Rastan on your machine itself. Fantasy Zone. Are we talking about Space Harrier? Did I miss a Space Harrier conversation? Because Space Harrier is actually one of my favorite titles too. All right. I see Chris has a question too. What's your personal developer/publisher wish list? I have a lot. I have too many. Sorry, let me get my apple cider. I am on theme, by the way. This is actually apple cider in my cup. But my personal list, I mean, it's hard. Stay tuned on that a little bit too. It's hard to answer these questions sometimes because I know sort of what's coming and what's not coming. So I kind of got to watch it sometimes. But no, my personal list, like something that I can tell you, like we definitely don't have. Probably something that's not out yet even. Actually, yeah, I'll keep this one a secret, actually. I'll keep this one internal for now. Altered Beast. Yeah, I love Altered Beast. I love Golden Axe. I love Gauntlet. Gauntlet's a favorite of mine, especially. How about some PC Engine games? I mean, a lot of these games are PC Engine games, right? Rising Hell, for one. Mayhem Brawlers. These are PC titles. These are not these are ported over, but they're just optimized really heavily. So these are PC ports, a lot of these. Again, this is an Android OS. That doesn't mean mobile. It's just the operating system is an Android-based OS instead of a Windows-based OS or a Mac OS or a Linux OS, right? This is the best thing that we found as a solution for ourselves to develop. So it's great for us to develop because it's sort of open source as far as the OS goes, right? Windows say we couldn't just take Windows and start ripping it apart and do all of our adjustments to it like we can currently. It just doesn't work out. Different monster, but Google lets us do that with Android. That's why we do it. So you start out with an Android base, and then we just heavily optimize it for games, especially games on our system, right? So that's how our OS works. And so these games are just, they come in a certain format, which is an Android format, but beyond that, it's still the exact same thing as if I were to run it on my PC. Broforce. Actually, here we go. Yeah, Broforce is a good one. That's a great one that I can tell you we don't have yet. So, but I would love Broforce. Because why not? Because again, ridiculous games are my favorite. So as well as serious titles too. I'm a big RPG nut, but ridiculous games are where it's at. All right. Well, yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. So we've been going for a while now. You got New Zealand Story. You got plenty of spooky titles. You got Nastar, Rastan, Saga 2 out now. So yeah, we got some good titles on there too. Again, explore the store. If you haven't checked out Rising Hell, definitely check out Rising Hell. But yeah, unless there's any more questions, we'll call it a day here. I'll let you guys go. We'll all have a nice festive weekend, hopefully. How hard is it to put? Here's a good. Okay. How hard is it to port PC, Android, iOS, PS1, etc.? As long as the process just depends on the developer. It's not. Well, we port some games to ourselves, but no. If it's running on a PC, it's easy to port out. I can tell you that. If it's actually running on a PC. So in a modern day game engine, if you're running it in a modern game engine like Unity or Unreal, or GameMaker, Godot is another one. There's a few others. But yeah, if they're running in any of those engines, it's super, super easy to port over to our machine. So again, we've heavily optimized it to make it that way on purpose so that we can attract more developers. Seawolf game. Any chance of getting Ridge Racer? Stay tuned. Stay tuned on games like Ridge Racer. So Ridge Racer is an interesting one too. But do you really want to play that game necessarily on a non-steering wheel? That's always usually the question, right? Racing games especially, it's hard. They do play well in the system, clearly, because we have plenty. But yeah, we'll see. Oh, I think I missed something up here. If I could ever scroll up. This is very hard. Let's see. Steve Cooper. This was a long one. That's why I popped on my feed. Mayhem Bros is perfect for the arcade. More modern titles like these and classic games. You can't lose. Yep, exactly. That's sort of our motto, right? Good mix for everybody. All right. Yeah, let's leave it at that for today, I feel like. Unless there's any more pressing. You can take like 2 more. I'll take 2 more questions. How about that? We'll stop it there. Is Zhang Pong being okay? I guess this is a question for me because I am like the sole developer on this. Is Zhang Pong being developed as a 2-player only or 1 and 2 players? Ooh, this is a great question. I don't think I'm ready to reveal the true answer to this question yet, but I think that you'll be very, very surprised whenever I actually have time to fully finish my game. So yeah, stay tuned on that. I won't answer this for now. I'll answer this. Yes. No, you can play it. You can play it as 1 or 2 players. Yes. There is not just a versus mode in Zhangpong whenever it does release. So yes. Again, you guys wanted a $15 version of Pong, right? So I'm making it for you. I'm making it worth your money. I'm not going to just like release the most basic game to you. So yeah, there's some fun features in there that you've never seen before. So keep in mind, I am a developer. So that's sort of in me. Let me see here. Rainwater. One day you'll stop asking about a steering wheel. I feel like I've seen this too many times for you. He did not. I didn't wink. Yeah, I'll take 1 more question. Zhangpong open beta would be interesting also. I'm thinking about it, Christopher. I'm thinking about it. I don't necessarily like to release my games early access kind of stuff. I kind of like to have full fleshed out things. And then if they ever actually need an update, it's good. Developing can get kind of messy sometimes in early access because you get a little bit too much feedback sometimes. So some people are pulling the game this way. Some people are pulling the game this way. So as a developer, I kind of take it upon myself to be like, this is probably the best solution to this rather than having 100 different people tell me 100 different things that they want. Because then it just gets all garbled up a lot of the time too. It's hard to sort through that sometimes, right? So that's usually why I don't like to do sort of like an early access open beta for my own games. That's just my personal preference as a developer. But we'll see. I mean, I definitely have to have it tested first, right? I can't just release a game without somebody else testing it besides me. That would be dumb too. Okay, let me see. Zhangpong confirmed. I confirmed Zhangpong a long time ago, in case you didn't know. I actually did confirm it. But I am a solo developer on that project. That's just me. So I have to work outside of work on that project. It's my own baby. Let's see. Will you coach those you want to develop? Yeah, so I'll end on this one for a developer sort of question. I sort of do this right now. So, I mean, Billy asks me a lot of questions all the time too. Billy, if you're watching, I love you. But yeah, so I sort of do this with some developers who are newer on, especially with certain titles. I work very closely with all of our developers for the most part, specifically the more modern developers. That's sort of that's my wheelhouse, right? They work in Unity, they work in Unreal, they work in GameMaker. I can help them pretty much all the time, no matter what. Because I've already worked in those engines myself, I have the personal experience of that, of solving my problems and coding and, doing all the back end stuff to set it up for porting, all that stuff. So the answer is yes. I do actually do this quite a bit, and it's through emails usually, which is a pain. Sometimes it's easier to have a meeting with people. But yeah, some developers are newer. They're newer to the game. They need some help. And yeah, it's never like, so say if I was porting a game to a console, right? A lot of times it's just cut and dry. It's certification process. That's it. They say, here's your certification guidelines. Submit your project when it's done. That's it. We check over it. If it doesn't meet our requirements, we're going to send it back to you with a list of things you need to fix. You got 2 weeks to fix it. That's it. We don't do that. So we do like to work with developers, and I'm the one who does that specifically, right? So we've got Kevin and Minchik manage all of our partners and things, get our licenses, and once they're sort of in the door, that's pretty much it. So if we reach out to people or if they come to us, they're pretty much just passed right off to me. Once everything's signed as far as agreements go, that's it. They're with me, and then we're going to decide a release schedule and things like that. So yeah, I work with new developers all the time, helping them, get used to the game basically too. If something's really not working, especially for a game, if I'm like, this just feels bad, right? I like to at least tell them, your game feels bad for this particular reason, and here's some solutions for you, right? Always give somebody ways to fix it, right? Don't just complain about something being broken. Tell them how to fix it. So, or at least give them some options or some advice on it, right? So yeah, I do this all the time. I help out new developers, and I love doing it. So great question. And we will end on that. That's it. Spooky Halloween theme, attract mode right behind me. If you haven't got your attract mode, let me know. Send a contact. Oh, coach those who want to develop. Wow. Okay, different question entirely. But yeah. I mean, not right now. I also have personal training clients too, so I kind of got to coach people outside of work and work on my own games outside of work. So, but we'll see. I don't know. Hit me up. You never know what I'm going to say, right? Who knows? Case by case basis. You have to pay for Zhang Pong. Yes, you have to pay for Zhang Pong. Yes, I'm not releasing that game for free. It was brought up as a $14.99 game originally, and that's what I plan on giving you, is a $14.99 game. So maybe we'll adjust the price a little bit, but we'll see. This game has been in development for a few months now, so it's taken time. I can tell you that. All right. But yeah, all right. On that note, that's it. So again, check out New Zealand Story. Continue on in the Rastan series if you'd like to, with the second episode in the series before 3 releases. Check out some of these new games that aren't really new. Check out Rising Hell for sure. Scaleboy, it's going on right now too. If you haven't checked out Scaleboy, again, another banging game. I love that game. It's a 2-player game as well. So if you're looking for a 2-player RPG, have some fun. It's a great game. And Demon's World especially. If you've never checked out Demon's World, if you're a avid arcade fanatic kind of thing and you've never played Demon's World, pick up Demon's World for sure. You won't be disappointed. I guarantee it. So, and again, you've always got 30 minutes to refund. If you ever purchase a game, put it on there. You really don't like it, take it off. Totally your choice. I get it. So, all right. You're going to make me cry each time you do that, but don't worry. I'll say it. With that, everybody have a safe and happy Halloween weekend. If you're celebrating, celebrate responsibly. Have some fun, though, of course. Trick or treat. I don't know if anybody's taking their kids out trick-or-treating. I don't think there's trick-or-treating in my neighborhood, really, but maybe there is. Anyway, yeah. Have a fun holiday weekend, and I will play you out. Let's see if I can do this right. If I can get the right video this week, right? Because last week I couldn't. All right. I'll actually play you out with, let's just do spooky attract mode. Actually, you know what? Let's do my favorite game right now, which is Rising Hell. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. It's good to see everybody. Thanks for staying tuned in the chat, talking with me. And I will see you all next week with more actually exciting news. Bye.
Rising Hell. Rastan, War Teacher.